Today is Palm Sunday. The color is red because the emphasis is on passion and sacrifice. The choir reminds me of a place where I was, where on such a day, every Christian would come with a red scarf. These scarves were easily sold in diocesan bookshop. Indeed, I still have mine. This was my scarf for this day, and which you sling it over your head. And as I came, I was putting on this. So we would see red all over the place. So choir, thank you for reminding me about that. We shall ponder on the Gospel of Matthew that was read to us by the deacon. And I just want us to note three things on this journey of redemption. Three. Journeys, you have the journey and you have the objective, that is where you are going. If the process is wrong, you might not reach your destiny. And therefore, the journey, everything must be just right. And I remember as a young man in my very, very early 20s, when I was transferred from a rural school in Moisbridge to Nakuru Day High School to teach, my mother prepared everything for me. So she said, my son, as you go, you will have one whatever, and she gave me everything, including the stove, which was using paraffin, and if you light it, it would make a lot of noise. These are pressure stoves. I don't know whether some of you still remember that. So she gave me that one. And then I went to Nakuru. On reaching, I was given a very beautiful two-bedroomed house, and I wanted now to make my dinner. And I did everything, put water, everything. That is when I remembered that I had not come with that stick that you use to make ugali. And needless to say, I tried to use everything that I had, including a ruler, but it did not work. Now, this is because it is somebody else who prepared that journey for me. I did not do it myself. It is my mother who did it, and she forgot to put the mwiko in the baggage that I carried to Nakuru. So, three things. First, preparation, and which is in verses 1 to 3 of the Gospel of Matthew. Now, it talks about a place called Bethphage. And when I was preparing for this, I wanted to get the right pronunciation of this word, because it is this town. It's very, very difficult. I found that others pronounce it as Bethphage, and others say Bethphage. So whichever way you want to pronounce, but there is a town by that name. Bethphage was a village which was just a mile from Jerusalem. So that is where the walk started. Now, there was a slope, and therefore you could see Jerusalem from Bethphage. And it was a very, very open place because it was sort of on a higher ground. And what I want us to learn from this place is that the journey to redemption is not private. It must be seen. You must be seen to be journeying. It is not private. This is the place where the donkey was to be found. And those who participated in this journey were ordinary people. The donkey was at that particular time an ordinary animal that was used by ordinary people. It was not a horse which by the kings. It is noteworthy that only even though Matthew is the only one who talks about 2 donkeys. Others usually just talk about a donkey. There was a foal, which was the younger one, and then there was the donkey. Now, the presence of the bigger donkey was that it would guide this other small one, because it had not been used to journeys. And therefore, in the journey, as you travel with bigger people who have been there before you. Be with someone who has trudged that journey. Like, for example, be in a cell group. In a cell group, you will find people who have been there longer, people who have trudged this journey of salvation, and they will be able to guide you. So that is number 1, prepare. Number 2 is the prophecy. And this is found in verses 4 and 5. Now, in verses 4 it says, this took place so that what was spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled. Tell the daughter of Zion, see, your king is coming to you, gentle and mounted on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey. Matthew points out to this fact. Matthew is writing, remember, he's writing this to the Jewish people, to the Jewish audience. Now, the prophecy is being fulfilled. And the prophecy is the daughter of Zion, which is referred to the city of Jerusalem. The prophecy said that Jerusalem's king is coming on a donkey's foal. However, Jesus is not only the king of Jerusalem, he's also the king of the universe. And therefore, this prophecy, that is, that Jesus is coming for all of us. The prophecy should be fulfilled in us. Let us not join the world. Let the world see that we are different. Because the journey to redemption is not cutting queues, but is walking that straight line. And number 3 is the procession itself. This is the entry part where now the people enter Jerusalem. And it is found in verses 6 to 10. And it says, the disciples went and did just as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, and they laid the clothes on them, and he sat on them. A very large crowd spread their clothes on the road. Others were cutting branches from the trees and spreading them on the road. Then the crowds who went ahead of him and those who followed shouted, Hosanna to the Son of David. We read that the disciples carried out Jesus' instructions to the letter. They went and brought the donkeys. Jesus, by the way, sat on the clothes that were on the donkey. Now, Jesus did not ride both donkeys because the donkeys were not synchronized. Now, it is certain that maybe there were 2 because he would switch from maybe one donkey and then go to the other one, the younger and then the elder one. And as Jesus is riding the donkey, others are laying down their clothes and branches along the road and honor and celebrate Jesus as the Messiah and King. Now, what is important is to identify the people. First, we have Jesus and his disciples, and also there are crowds. Now, Jesus and the disciples were in one accord, but the crowd, there were 2 types of crowds there. There were the ones who are saying, Hosanna in the highest, who recognized him, and there were others who said, who is this? Who is this? Which means the journey to redemption has 2 types of crowds. There are crowds who know Jesus and crowds who do not know Jesus. But you remember, when they asked, the crowd that did not know Jesus, when they asked, who is this? In fact, they were given an answer. And they were told that this is actually the Messiah. Now, those of you who are already in this journey, who are in salvation, it is your duty to tell others that this is Jesus. So, witness and tell others about the Messiah, just like a group in that crowd did. As Jesus comes, do you know him? Or you are asking, who is this? If you are asking, who is this, there are people who can actually help you. We have open lines here that you can call 24/7. So in summary, may we examine who this Messiah is to us. May we proclaim Jesus as the Prince of Peace at all times, especially for us who are living in this country called Kenya now. Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest.